Oh, hello, people. Welcome to. Oh, I'm so small now. Yes, I'm all alone here, but don't worry. Um, he's not on camera, but Christopher's here. Say hi, say hello, Christopher.
Hello, Christopher.
Yes. Welcome, welcome. Yes. So this is it. This is the thing I've been talking about all week in various social media formats. We are doing a live commentary track for the 1989 cult classic Pet Sematary. Now, well, I shouldn't say what I think about it, but what we're gonna do, we're like, yeah, I've said this as well. We're not gonna be able to show the movie, obviously, that would be highly illegal. But if anyone wants to watch it along with us, or in later when this is archived, wanna start the commentary track and actually watch the movie, we're gonna have a little. I'm gonna do a countdown from three when we actually start the movie. And I also want to mention that if anyone's gonna be typing in the chat anywhere on D Live or Twitch or YouTube, I won't read it since we're doing a commentary track. I'll take some time afterwards to read the chat if there's anything interesting there. So we already have people in the chat on D Live, so sorry, I'm just gonna not read it already. So that's what we're gonna do. So it's gonna be purely commentary track, not much of a live interaction, but that's how it is. And also, I'm gonna, just to save my CPU from melting, I'm gonna turn off my camera so you'll only hear both our voices. Yeah, if you have the movie, watch along with us. Otherwise, it's just going to be us kind of having a conversation about a cult classic. Not. But yeah. So I guess I'm not. I'm guessing we're about to start. I think. Are you prepared, Christopher? Do you have
I'm
any?
prepared.
If you want any, do you have any kind of movie snacks, or it's not your thing?
No, I'm good. I have everything I need.
Yeah, me too. So I'm just gonna shut off my camera. It's gonna look a little weird for a second here, like that. Boop. And I'm just gonna remove this thing as well, so you can at least see this fine picture, which is actually poster art from the movie. But enough dilly dallying. We are going to start the movie. And I'm gonna press play. This is just from second zero, from the very start of the movie. No like fast forwarding past anything. So it's just straight from the top of the movie. And I'm gonna hit play in let's see here, 3, 2, 1, begin. There we are. Yeah. Well, it's official. We're we're streaming live, and the movie has started. So yeah, for anyone watching this in the archives later, hello and welcome to the commentary track. The please don't, I guess, make a scene commentary track for Pet Sematary, the 1989. I've said this too many times now. Cult classic starring Dale Midkiff and Star Trek: The Next Generation's Denise Crosby, and of course Fred Gwynn from Car 54. Where are you? I think, and it's directed by Mary Lambert. That's her name, right? Who was famous at the time for making a lot of music videos and like art stuff. I'm not really sure. And this was her first this was her first ever feature length project. And as the movie goes along, it's gonna show that she hasn't directed a movie before. Right. And we talked a little bit about this before the stream started, that the movie has some pacing problems. So I'm just gonna ask you, Christopher, do you think this intro sequence is a little long, or is
Oh
that
yeah,
just me?
definitely. No, definitely,
Right.
it's too long. I mean, it it would have been fine if we had seen anything more than the cemetery. I mean, if we're thinking like the beginning of Shining, where things actually happens,
Mm.
it's not that interesting. It doesn't do that much, but it still it brings a feel to the movie. I don't think this does. This is more like there is a cemetery. Yep, it's still a cemetery.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's still a cemetery.
I I think it goes on for almost 3 minutes, and it's just
That is it that long? Really?
yeah. We're at 2.5 now almost. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, if they've started with cemetery and then maybe like if they done like a shot when they go from the cemetery to the house
yeah.
to show the road, that could have worked. I think we need some more movement, something more to happen. I think.
Exactly. Yeah, and I know I always thought that maybe we shouldn't even have seen the cemetery now. That should have been like a reveal when they actually go there, or maybe that's
Yeah,
just.
yeah. I mean that. Sure. Um.
I just like going home from work. I just got this picture in my head that it should have almost started with a cat, because cats are like a big thing in this movie, or at least a cat is. Um, that it should have started with some footage of a cat just going around like a garden. It could have been the garden in at the house they're gonna live in.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, what is this cat? And it moves up to the road, and it almost gets hit by one of those trucks that we just saw.
Yeah.
So like foreshadowing, both
Yeah.
for the kid spoilers and the cat spoilers.
Or maybe it could have also, if I mean, it would have been interesting to show them maybe like they're moving into the house, and everything seems fine, and we don't get this foreboding feeling. I think that would have worked too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
It also, I mean, if they want to like do it kind of like The Shining, it should have started in the car, so we got to know the characters in the car, because there is, I don't know, there is some character development, but there's not a lot really for the characters.
but I gotta say though, there are some things I really like in the now in this the first what do you call it when they present all the characters, what's that called?
I don't
The
know.
setup.
Oh yeah, well yeah, setup or
Yeah.
character presentation basically.
Yeah, I think they're doing some really good things. I really like the sticker, the MD sticker.
Yeah, that's a good.
To explain, it explains a lot.
Yeah,
Such a small shot.
yeah, exactly.
And also like these things when we see like the kids going to swing and all this, and the small talk between the wife and
Parents.
husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it works great as presentation of everything. We know how everyone is and who everyone are.
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, these aren't like the deepest characters ever written. More so in the book, of course, because it's a book.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Did you read any of the book before we did this?
No, I read some of the wiki and some
Yeah.
like so I know some things. Like for example, some things with the father and the what is it called? I don't even remember what the characters are called. The husband, what's he called?
I don't know. He's
Louis.
called Louis. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Louis Creed.
Yeah,
Rachel
yeah,
Creed.
Louis and the
Ellie
father-in-law.
Engage. Yeah.
Things like that I know of.
Yeah, yeah. Like they don't really like each other, and that doesn't really show in this too much. I mean, yeah, he doesn't.
No.
He doesn't go along for the Thanksgiving
Yeah.
dinner
We
later.
are told that they don't like each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And
But I
then
gotta.
there's the funeral scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, oh,
Yeah.
the grandfather like punching the father. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, calm down. It's a funeral. It makes more sense in the book, but they still kind of just assume that they just tell you that the grandparents doesn't approve of this marriage, and like their justification for that is because oh, he's a no good husband, but you know he's training to become a doctor. Isn't that like an admirable
Yeah.
profession for a husband to have? I don't know. It's really weird, actually. I don't know. I guess it kind of ties in with them being very protective of their only daughter, since you know what happened to their older daughter.
Yeah.
I guess. But we're gonna get to that scene later. Here we have the introduction of Fred Gwynn, Judd Crandall, who is probably, even though he's kind of, I think the accent is a little hammy, I still think he gives the best performance in the movie.
Yeah, and also he has this weird way of talking. I don't know if that's. I think that's a character choice. Must be. The like he's not closing his mouth like ever. He's talking like this.
Yeah, a lot like this, right? Sometimes Dad's better. Yeah, so yeah, it's a pretty thick Maine accent. I'm told.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about
Okay.
American accents, but it's supposed to be Maine accent, and it feels a little too thick, but it gives him some character at least.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
And of course it's Maine. It's Stephen King.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It has to be Maine.
Oh right, this is this kind of weird thing we noticed. The cat here.
Yeah.
Just gonna see if I remember correctly. So yeah, they closed the cat inside the bedroom.
Yeah. Oh, right. And it's gonna appear here now.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, that's weird. Oh no, I didn't think of that before. Oh my god, first scare of the movie. Yeah, that's stupid. I guess maybe there's a window open or something. But yeah, when you think about it, it's like, yeah, they shut it in there.
Yeah, and also the editing shows that this is happening almost at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's a ghost cat.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that is foreshadowing, because it keeps getting into closed rooms later in the movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's weird.
I guess it's it's the first
But
big.
I think it's just I think it's just have to be a like editing room miss.
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
I didn't think about.
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually like foreshadowing. It's meant to be foreshadowing.
No, I don't think so either. I think they just didn't care in editing. And because that's kind of interesting how this movie was made, because the book was written like in the late 70s. It was finished in the early 80s, and this script for the movie, which Stephen King wrote himself, so he adapted his own book. It was written like in just a few years later, like 84, I think. And then there was this producer, I forget her name. She was working for a smaller production company, who read the script and like, oh, we really need to produce this. But the studio head at that time said like, no, Stephen King movies are over, because we'd had the two good ones, Carrie and The Shining, and then we had all the shitty ones like Firestarter and Cujo and stuff like that. Cujo. So they're like, no, we're not gonna make that movie. And then a few years later, the writer's strike happened. There was a writer's strike in Hollywood in 87 or 88. So all the studios, and she was working at Paramount at that time. So all the studios were like panicking. Were having meetings like, what scripts can we film that doesn't require a writer to like to touch up or anything? What scripts can we film today? And she was like, she like raises her hand. This is how she describes it in a documentary I saw. She raises her hand, and the studio head is like, no, put your goddamn hand down. We're not filming your stupid Pet Sematary script. And she's like, but it's finished. We can film it now. And they're like, fuck, we don't have any moves. All right, fine. So it's not, and they, in the documentary I saw, they make it out like, oh, it was fate. It was meant to be filmed. It's like, no, it was just some trashy shit they had laying around. Nobody wanted to make it, but fine, here's $1.5 million, go make it.
Yeah.
So that's how I read it. Because, I don't, spoilers, I don't really like the movie.
What?
No, I don't know. I mean, it's a cult classic, so.
I mean, another thing that I just think is a weird choice.
Yeah.
It's the path to the Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
It goes to their backyard.
Yeah.
And it seems, I don't know, it seems logistically weird that, because, I mean, it's not only pets from people that had lived in that specific house.
No, it's from all over the
So
town.
I mean, are there other pets? Are there pets from every house, or why do they have like a path which is obviously like used a lot because it's not overgrown and it's got the stones around and everything.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
they kind of explain it in this scene. Well, not why there's no more paths, but they go into a little more detail in the book that, like, the first pets that died were like around this area, so they built the pet cemetery in proximity to their houses, and then just kids from the local kids just took their pets there, even if they lived further away. It's not really explained, but
I mean specifically where the path is going to their backyard, that it's not going to the road or something like that.
yeah, I think that's just out of necessity. The kids lived in that house. The kids that started the pet cemetery lived in that house or something. And why it's actually so well kept is because kids, they never show that. There's never any other kids here. They should have done that, but the kids actually tend the graveyard or the cemetery.
Yeah, isn't that in the remake? I think there's more of that.
I think there's more about that in the remake. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm not planning on seeing it really, but oh, and I should tell you, like, yeah, why we're doing this is because it's the 30th anniversary of this cult classic, and also because the remake is out now. So, unfortunately, it's not the success I was hoping it would be. So people might not really care about Pet Sematary right now. Yeah. But also, I found this out. We're recording this on the 15th of April of 2019, and Pet Sematary actually premiered on the 21st of April 1989. So it's almost to the day 30 years old. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So really, we should have done it next Monday, because then we would have been 1 day late instead of 5 days early. But whatever. Doesn't really matter.
It's not that big of a deal.
No, not really. I just thought it was fun because I found out, oh my god, it's almost 30 years to the day. That's cool. And here, this scene, when she says, "Let God get his own cat," or something like that.
Yeah, that's from Stephen King's real life.
Right? Yeah, his daughter said that about when her cat died. And that's how the whole movie came to be, really, because the Pet Cemetery actually exists in real life. He was doing a lecture at Maine University or something, and he was living in a house similar to this in 1980 or something. And their cat wasn't run over. I think it just died. And then the scene where Gage here, the little kid, runs out into the street, that also happened, but they actually managed to stop him from dying. So the book is kind of personal to Stephen King, he has said, and he has said, maybe that's just him trying to hype the book up, but that it's the one book that I wrote that really scares me, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I read
a
lot about that too. And that's like, for people who read Stephen King, most of them agree that this is like his worst book from like
okay.
Yeah, from like disturbing, that it is so disturbing, and that there's no happy ending, and it's just misery all through.
Yeah, it is pretty nihilistic, and very dark. I mean, the way he described it when I started reading it in the foreword, I thought it was going to be like a gothic nightmare or something, but it's just, it's pretty bad. I mean, a bunch of people die, kids die. It's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. He really hyped it up in his foreword. Yeah. So
but I mean, I think it also strikes another nerve if you have a family and you have kids and all these things.
I'm pretty sure about that. And then that Dale Midkiff here, who plays the father, he said that in an interview that he didn't really fully get the movie until he actually got kids of his own a few years after he made it. And it was like, oh. So I'm pretty sure it's more impactful if you have kids.
Yeah.
But overall, the movie isn't that well made. It's not just because we don't have kids.
No, I mean, as we said, there's pacing issues and there's
Oh yeah.
the yeah, all the slow scenes are too slow and all the fast scenes are too fast.
Yeah.
Um, and there are like these characters, like this maid character,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't really have a point, really. I don't know
No,
if she doesn't bring anything really.
no. I think that is to introduce more depth really into the story, because in the book,
Um,
she is not really she's not really part of the movie. They mention her name, but she's never like part of the
mhm,
movie. She's not ever really in the story.
mhm,
Instead, Fred Gwynne's character, Judd Crandall, has a wife who has she's very old and frail, and she's actually the one who dies.
mhm.
And that's the first funeral in the book instead of the maid character's funeral.
Yeah.
So that is a bit more impactful because the kids really like her. And Lewis, oh my god, Lewis sees them as his like parents because he grew up without a real like family.
Mm.
They mention this in the book.
I
It's not really
I gotta say,
explored in the movie.
just cutting you off here, but
No, it's okay.
um, that at the when they show this guy's skull,
Yeah,
the what is
Pascal,
Pascal
Victor
Pascal
Pascal.
Pascal, right?
Yeah,
I I I don't. A lot of old movies have this, and I don't really understand why. Why they have this like shitty slow motion when there is something gruesome.
I I don't know. They actually
'Cause
they did something similar in the new Suspiria remake when they like
okay,
the most graphic scene where like bodies are exploding. It's
yeah,
all like this. Yeah, they've just stretched it. It's not real slow
yeah,
motion. They just added a
exactly.
few frames.
And I mean,
In that, in
in this moment, my first reaction is yeah, because they didn't have enough tape of the actual wound,
yeah, it
so
was too
they
fast.
yeah they need to stretch it so we can see what it is. But I mean, we see it a lot, like
Yeah, we see
at
it
this
all
moment.
the time here.
So
Yeah,
there's no reason for that to stretch that out.
I
I
don't know.
don't.
I've
And
only heard what?
no, what are you gonna say?
Oh, I've only heard from Paul W.S. Anderson,
Hmm.
the genius director behind Resident Evil. He
Yeah.
he said in his commentary track for Event Horizon,
Hmm.
there's actually a scene very late in the movie where when Lawrence Fishburne he pushes a button to explode a certain thing. I'm not going to spoil that movie,
Hmm.
but you've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's made in the same way. They've like added a few frames, and he says that they specifically did that. He didn't want to do it, but the
Hmm.
push of the button was too fast. People
Oh,
almost didn't see it. It's like, fine, we'll just stretch it. So I
yeah.
think they mostly use it out of necessity. Because I don't think it's made like a style choice because it looks terrible in every
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's just they didn't have enough footage when they were carrying him up the stairs or something. I don't know.
Yeah. What we are gonna say was, how do you interpret this thing with that the dying man actually says some words to him like before he becomes a ghost? I realize if he say his cryptic things when he's a ghost,
Yeah,
because yeah, he's like magical and seen things and know things. But
yeah.
when he's still like dying, I don't get it.
I think
Why?
I think that is especially in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It is very impactful and really creepy that he like says his name and he mentions that
Mm-hmm.
a man's heart is stonier. That is really
Yeah.
creepy until you realize that he's a ghost. So it was just like they were just setting up that he's going to be a ghost. If
Yeah.
that was if that would actually be something that Lewis would like ponder over and maybe that those him misinterpreting that because it might just have been like death rattles and he thought he heard Lewis or
Yeah.
whatever. If it was ambiguous like that, and that might have been what drove him to actually bury the cat and his kid and his wife
Mm,
in the Micmac burial ground. That would
yeah.
have been interesting, but now it's just it's a ghost. It's a supernatural force guiding him to do that. Do
Yeah,
it.
but I mean, it would also have worked if they were like, uh, I mean, it's just that he says this before he dies. That's the thing that bugs me. It would have made more sense, like, if he maybe was involved in something and that's why he did it, and because he was involved in something supernatural, that's why he became a ghost,
Oh,
something like
okay.
that.
Yeah.
That would have made sense, but no, he's just say something to be creepy, and then he's a ghost.
Yeah.
And that's two separate things. Those things don't really affect each other. Why
Mm,
he says something creepy and why he's a ghost, it has nothing to do with each other.
I,
Unless he already had died there, and that's when he became a. It was the ghost that said it.
I don't. Yeah. I don't know.
It's,
It's
it bugs me.
yeah, and they don't really explain it any better in the book, really. Once again, this could all have been ambiguous.
No.
Like he imagined him saying his name, and now he's imagining seeing a ghost. But we later found out that the ghost is actually there because he talks to the kid, he talks to the wife. It's like, oh, okay, no, he's just a ghost.
Yeah.
There's no there's nothing like there's no subtlety in this movie. It's very like hit you over the head with everything.
Yeah.
I do kind of like this character though. He's kind of cool, Pascal, and
Yeah, I think they after this scene, I
yeah.
think they actually handled the ghost really well, because like later on he talks to people, but they don't hear him. They just like get the
Yeah.
suggestion in their head,
Yeah, exactly.
and I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, and I like that as well. Even though that kind of gets a little like comedic, like when he's
Oh yeah.
sitting in the when they're on the airplane and he's
Yeah,
just sitting a few rows behind her, like
yeah,
smiling.
it's really lucky that there was an empty seat, or he would have
Yeah.
had to stand the whole way.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of like small things that like yeah, I was like over preparing to doing this commentary track because it's the first commentary track I'm doing like this. So I've seen the movie a few times now this week, and I mean I've seen it before many years ago. So every time you watch it, you just discover these little small things, and each successive time that you watch it, it just starts bugging you more and more.
Yeah, none of the small things you notice is good things.
No, exactly. There's no
I
like
mean,
little quirk like, oh, that's really interesting. It's just, oh,
uh,
that's really stupid.
yeah. I don't know.
And like we said, I get the feeling, because I think this was the first script that Stephen King wrote. I'm actually gonna look that up. I'm not sure. I might be lying to you. And it feels like since he's adapting his own book, the book has a lot more. It's much more detailed and everything because
Yeah.
it's a book. Duh, it's a pretty
Yeah.
thick book. It's like over 400 pages. Um, so there's a lot of like character development, and there's a lot of stuff that we just don't see. Like Lewis Creed, he starts like doing some research on who Victor Pascal was to try to figure out, is there a connection between us? Why did he know my name and all that? And then kind of adds to him like going a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And that there's nothing of that in the book.
Oh.
Oh no, sorry, there's nothing of that in the movie. I mean,
Oh.
I'm gonna see here.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this, which would explain. It's explained by Stephen King writing, and it feels like this is a movie for people who have read the books. You need to know the characters when you go into the movie, because the movie won't help you with any of these things. And like a lot of these moments that are effective in the book because of the build-up, they remove the build-up and only have the thing.
Exactly, they only have the big payoffs.
Yeah, only payoff, no build-up, and that's, well, yeah, there are build-up, but not build-up to the right things.
Exactly.
And I think that's why it's falters so much.
Yeah, and it loses a lot of its like creepy atmosphere that you get sort of in the book, because here it's just the big things like Victor Pascal, the cat, the kid dying, the fight in the what's it called, in the church when the kid died. And so you never get those the connective tissue between those scenes that makes it like feel like a cohesive movie almost. It's just scenes.
Yeah.
And also I just looked this up. He actually wrote one movie before this, Maximum Overdrive. I thought that was in the 90s. It's the one where the
All right. Yeah, the
cars
truck.
come to life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was his second script, but I've heard only bad things about Maximum Overdrive. So maybe he shouldn't write screenplays.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Stephen King generally. I think, especially in movies, the further it is from the source material, the better it is.
Yeah, because otherwise you're gonna draw too many like, or you're gonna sit and compare it to the book all the time.
No, I don't think that's the problem with specifically Stephen King.
Oh, okay.
I think it is that Stephen King's stories and his way of telling a story doesn't work on movies. It's the same as with the Disney remakes.
Yeah.
Like it works when it's a cartoon. It doesn't work when it's real action because something is lost in the. It makes it more real when you see actual characters doing it, and then you start question things, which you don't question if it's a comic or if it's a written story. You don't question these things.
Okay.
I think, and so when people take Stephen King's sources and then rewrite them, like for example The Shining, then it becomes great because he's have great themes and great a great framework for his movies, but the details doesn't work in movies, I'd say.
No, yeah, I agree, and yeah, I'm just talking about The Shining. Have you read The Shining?
No, I haven't.
It's very different from the movie, and honestly, it wouldn't have worked as a movie. I think it's kind of
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
it's a great book, but there's so many like things. Yeah, like you said, they are so ridiculous. Like these like hedges coming to life, like animal shaped hedges, like starting to chase him.
Yeah.
And it's just these
It's
weird
like
things.
the miniseries he actually wrote. And
Yeah,
directed.
yeah, that is more faithful
book.
to the book. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he's
and
like, I really liked it.
That doesn't work.
Okay, I haven't seen it because
Oh,
I heard
okay.
it was more faithful to the book. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch that. That's
Yeah,
stupid.
I've seen it and it doesn't work.
Okay, no, exactly.
Um,
Oh, now we're coming up on the actual burial ground. So that's kind of interesting too. The pet cemetery isn't really that important to the story.
no.
It's a cool title, especially since it's misspelled, which is actually was in real life. But I've been trying to figure out, like, is there some kind of like, does it have some sort of subliminal meaning or something, or is it's just named Pet Cemetery because they can't call it Micmac Burial Ground? That would have been a bad name for a
Yeah.
book.
I think it's because this reveal. I think like the opening credits and the name and like all these things about the scary pet cemetery. And then there's the big reveal. No, the pet cemetery is safe. This is the dangerous thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess there's a theme about, when he says that when they talk about the pet cemetery when they first go there, like, oh, this is a place of joy, a place of rest where where kids can still go and meet their dead pets.
Yeah.
They kind of keep them alive. I guess that is because that is what he's literally doing now. He's resurrecting the cat, and he's gonna resurrect his family later.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a correlation there, but I don't know. It's a cool title, but it doesn't really fit.
I think it's a good title for the book,
Yeah.
but not maybe the movie again.
Yeah.
Also, this is such a weird thing that this neighbor guy is actually like showing him this. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense really. Why? I mean, they kind of explained. Yeah, I don't want to see your daughter get sad. Yeah, but you know that the cat is gonna come back as a fucking asshole.
Yeah, like, do you really want to, like, resurrect the dead and make them like this ungodly abomination just so his kid won't cry for 10 minutes.
Yeah, do you think the kid's gonna be happy with the cat that like
Yeah.
scratches everyone?
Yeah,
That doesn't make sense.
that's also something I keep referring to the book, but that's something they go more into detail with, because he says later in the movie, Judd says that, oh, I might have been responsible for getting Gage killed because I showed you the Micmac burial ground, and it's like, what? What is the correlation there? And in the book, it is they mention that anyone who buries a pet up there to bring it back, they become connected to the burial ground, and there's this they actually have there's this actual this what do you call it, like, yeah, this force, which is what's it called, the Wendigo. There's an actual Wendigo in the book, from what I've heard. I never read that far.
No, I heard that too.
Yeah.
And actually, apparently, in the movie you see the Wendigo.
Really?
Sort of. Yeah, sort of. It's the face that like comes to him.
Oh, right, because I never knew
the
that.
Wendigo.
Oh, okay.
and like, yeah, okay. Could you explain this maybe? No.
Nope. Yeah, so in the book he explains that you, whenever you bury a pet up there, you are connected to the burial ground, and you're almost gonna become like a trance comes over you, and you will make other people leave their cats up there, or pets up there, because they want the souls, so you become their slave, that drives souls up there.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
That makes more sense.
But in the movie they don't explain any of this.
No, yeah,
if you watch the movie in a vacuum and don't know anything about the book, nothing makes sense. It's so weird. Yeah, and that's I also read about that it's like the Wendigo spirit is actually the one that's like affect Cage to walk out into. No, affects the truck driver that runs over the Cage.
Oh, okay.
And there's like things like that, like the Wendigo spirit is killing Cage so that he can make Lewis. And it's like all this, like these forces, but it's Stephen Kingian.
Yeah,
it's like all these forces that doing stuff.
That is a big problem I have with his books. There's like parts of his book, mostly like the character work is usually pretty interesting, but then he adds this ridiculous stuff. Like, why is there a Wendigo in this book?
Yeah.
It should be about loss and desperation of trying to get your family back. But no, it's about a Wendigo trying to capture your child's soul. It's too over the top. It's the same I
think like in Stephen King, he has this problem. For me, I think people like it. I don't. This thing that it's almost like Deus Ex Machina, like, but in the wrong way, because it's always like, but how did this happen? Yeah, it was a force. Okay. What force? Yeah, a force. Are we gonna elaborate? No. Okay, cool then, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then he doesn't really have he should have a better editor that like gives him notes on his books, because I read one of his later books called Duma Key. I don't know if you heard about it. It's one of the best books I have ever read up until the last 100 pages, because it's like 750 pages or something. And it's this great book about a guy who loses his arm, so he kind of goes into forced retirement, and he moves out to Duma Key in Florida, where he gets a house, and he starts painting and tries to come to terms with losing an arm, and because he gets brain damage, so he's not himself anymore. His wife divorces him and stuff. It's a really interesting book about coming to terms with who you have become.
Yeah, a character piece.
Yeah. Until the ghost pirates show up.
Oh, obviously.
And the mutated crocodiles in the bewitched house in the end. And I'm like, whoa, wait, whoa, because there's barely any hints of that up until the last like act of the book, and it just becomes the most ridiculous like action horror schlock shit you ever read. It's terrible. And a lot of his books are like that. They become terrible towards the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
He always goes too big in the end. Like the end of The Shining, the books, spoilers. The entire Overlook Hotel explodes. He blows it up, and the mother and the kid like are they're running away on a like snowmobile with the explosion in the back. It's like, what is going on here? So weird.
Also, another thing I read about, I don't know if this is actually like meant to be like that, but apparently in the book Pet Sematary, they name drop Cujo.
Oh yeah, they mention it in the movie as well. I think they mentioned this. Yeah, like a crazy dog attacked some family. They mentioned. I think they mentioned it in the movie. I don't remember.
Yeah.
If they did, it was earlier in the movie.
Yeah, and I wonder if, because I don't know if they, I don't remember Cujo.
I've neither read or seen it.
I've seen the movie, but I don't really remember.
No.
I don't know if they actually say why he's mad, like he's crazy, and I think it's heavily implied in Pet Sematary that he was buried, and that's why he...
Oh, okay. So it's the expanded King universe.
Yeah, because he likes to do that.
Yeah, he usually makes some like vague references in his books to other books, I think.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's a nice little Easter egg. I don't mind that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Here's another one of those scenes where the cat just appears.
Yeah, and this is one of the scenes in the book where it's like, where they're hinting at that it's become this otherworldly thing. It's not just a cat anymore, because he locks the door and still the cat manages to get inside, and they make a thing out of it in the book. And here's just like, oh, stupid cat, and he pushes it out. Let's talk a little bit about the actors, because oh god, that's gross. Yeah, that's actually pretty gross. In the bath water, so now it's everywhere, like it's anyway, like and I think that's a big part of also why the movie doesn't really work for me, because none of the actors do a particularly good job.
No.
And it's interesting because they picked what's his name, Dale Midkiff, who plays Lewis Creed. They picked him because he was like he wasn't a big name in Hollywood, but he was like a sort of big name, and they needed some sort of like name actor to put on the cover of the movie or the poster.
Yeah.
So they picked him because he was sort of like a heartthrob. I think he made a lot of like TV before this. And it's I don't know, they like all this mention of this being like a cult movie. His career never really went anywhere after this.
No.
He just kept making small movies. He's like a working actor.
Yeah.
He never became like a big name. And the same with Denise. Oh no, what's her name? Who plays the Rachel Creed? Denise. Oh my god, I mentioned it before.
I don't remember. I never remember.
No, Denise Crosby.
Name.
That's the name. Denise Crosby. I just want to mention this because it's kind of funny, because she was on the first 2 or 3 seasons of Star Trek: The Next Generation, playing like the security officer. But she when I think they were doing like contract negotiations leading up to the 4th or 3rd season, and she was like, nah, I think I'm gonna quit. And they were like, oh, okay, because the show wasn't really popular. It didn't become popular until the 4th season. So she decided to quit the show to do movies, and one of the first like movies she made was this. She was like, I'm gonna make it big in Hollywood. I'm not a TV star, I'm a movie star. Star Trek: The Next Generation went on to be one of the most popular TV shows of all time, going on for another 5 seasons.
Yeah.
So like, and she only made like crap movies after this. Like she's even been in some like super low budget, schlock movies that have been on Red Letter Media's Best of the Worst. Like it's that bad. And
Yeah.
I'm just in my head picturing she must be so like annoyed that she just didn't stick with the show a few more years. I don't know. it's
Yeah, I mean,
it's a little funny.
no one is actually good in this movie.
No, not really.
It's-
Oh, and this woman who just hung herself.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recognize her. She's actually from. Well, it's not that easy to recognize her. One episode of this 5th season of X-Files. She plays like an avatar of the devil.
Why do you know the specific episode?
Because I really like that episode. She's really creepy in that one.
I mean, yeah, I think.
Oh, and here we have Stephen King doing cameo.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
also a terrible actor.
Yep. Oh, I mean, what's that? Is it Tales from the Crypt when they adapt one of his short stories and he acts in it?
Oh yeah, it's the one with the meteor.
The plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah, the meteor and then it becomes plants.
It's wait, I saw it before.
Bad in that
Yeah,
one.
he's a terrible actor. I can see why he doesn't really act that much. It's not Tales from the Crypt. It's because it was a movie. He's in it's Creep Show. No, wait.
Ah, yeah, Creep Show, right?
No, it's not Creep Show. Wait. Oh yeah. He's in Creep Show 1. That's the one. The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill. That's his that
Yeah.
story. And then he was in Creep Show 2 as well. But that's
All
different. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually has a lot of roles in adaptations of his books.
Yeah, that must be like one of his
His things.
No, I mean, what do you say?
Like a stipulation, like, I
Yeah.
gotta be in the movie if
Yeah,
you're gonna make it.
Yeah, you can make my book a movie.
Yeah, he's
If.
he's in the Langoliers. He plays Tom Holby.
Right.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
Yeah, but that movie is so bad it's good though.
Yeah, it is.
And that's in that movie at least it looks like the characters have fun.
Yeah.
This movie, everyone looks bored.
Yeah, because it's so straightforward. They're not having fun with it because they want to make this really serious, like important movie about life and death and family and stuff.
Yeah,
And it's like,
but it
no.
doesn't even feel like they're trying to act like that. It feels like they're just waiting for the paycheck. They're just saying their lines with barely any inflection.
Yeah,
I mean-
well, because they were both like TV actors, and they have a very inexperienced director directing them.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of little things that just lead up to a big movie full of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of like, it's these little details that really end up making a great movie. Here it's just a bunch of little details that end up making a crap movie.
Yeah.
But I think this is the scene when she's gonna explain why she doesn't like to talk about
Yeah,
death and stuff.
That's a good scene.
Yes, this is actually it's kind of scary, but it's mainly because the guy who plays Zelda, it's a guy who plays Zelda.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. He's really good. He's over the top, but it works for that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, since like it's her memory of the events, like the unreliable narrator thing.
Yeah, and well, except for the very soft like filter they have here, which looks like a porno. This scene kind of has an atmosphere. The lighting is different. It looks kind of creepy. This adds to it. But the rest of the movie looks kind of flat for the most part, except for some scenes in the woods.
Yeah.
So here it actually kind of looks like a creepy movie. Here it's just, oh look, it's a soap opera,
Yeah.
especially with her acting in it. Yeah, it's really gross.
Yeah, but it's really it's really good. It's like they could have made a good movie.
Yeah, this could have been a better movie at least.
Yeah, if you just look at this, it's like You can if you want to.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. And going back to like the documentary, it kind of felt like, because most like really really good movies are made, the production of the movie is like, it's like 5 weeks or however long of just hell. Everyone hates each other. Nothing works as it should. Like when they shot like Star Wars and half of their set blew down in the desert and stuff like that. Usually, like greatness comes from strife, if you will. This movie, the way they explained the behind the scenes stuff, it was like everyone was friends. We were really like having a great time, and I don't know if that's just a thing, but maybe that's why the movie isn't that good. No one was really, they weren't really, they didn't have to work to make the movie. It just, it just happened. It was a regular movie.
I mean,
There might be something to that. I'm not sure. I haven't
just
really
missed
made
that.
a big movie like this.
We just missed that, but that painting at
Oh, yeah.
their parents' house.
Yeah.
What the I mean, is that supposed to be like foreshadowing?
It's, I don't know. They mention it that they put the same clothes. It's honestly the way they explain it in that documentary. It's actually like Gage trying to like freak his mother out so he actually puts those clothes on to resemble the painting, to scare his mother.
Yeah.
But it's also weird. Like, why is it like 2-year-old? Why, when he comes back from the dead, is he all intelligent and he uses knives and he can talk much better?
I don't know if that's what they went for, but my understanding of it is that when they bring someone back, it's not that soul. It's another. It's like a demon or a ghost taking the body, take its place.
Okay.
That's how I see it. I don't know if that's what they want to, but I think that makes most sense for me, and then that's the feeling I get, and that's why they are like intelligent and super evil.
Okay.
Because like, yeah, something else takes its place.
Yeah, maybe. I think the way they explain it, it's just they come back different.
Yeah, because sometimes
Dad is better.
better.
Yeah. And this guy, he was actually, I don't remember his name, but he's actually a real truck driver. Who they just like they saw him in a truck stop cafe and like, hey, you want to be in a movie? He's like, okay. Oh, and this scene, it's so over dramatic when the kid dies.
Yeah.
Like it is. I think it is kind of. It is mildly disturbing because it's like when a young kid dies like this, even if it's in a movie, it's kind of like a bit disturbing. It is, but they oversell it. We're gonna see it in a little while. Like they're really like trying to make you feel all the feelings at the same time. So when they show the pictures and he's screaming, it's so overdone, and you don't really need that. All you need to see is that the shoe tumbling across the road. That's all you would have needed, really. It's so over the top here.
This also I just think it's weird. I think just how they set up like the table and stuff. I mean, everyone is facing the kid.
Yeah, except
everyone is looking where the kid is going.
Oh.
And I mean, they could have just like changed the direction of where they were sitting, and it wouldn't have been a problem. But
yeah,
no,
like this is good, but and this is good. Everything's quiet. Like, oh no, what happened? And then this. It's so. And then why are there pictures on the road? Look, there's the cement or the asphalt underneath. What is like? We get it. They're sad that their kid died. You don't have to show family photos. They kind of ruin the moment. Imagine if you've just seen like everyone's like faces. They're like in shock. You don't see the kid. You just see the shoe. And then you see them. They don't even say anything, and then you just cut to they could cut to this. It would be like this. Ugh. I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen Hereditary yet?
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, the scene when
Yeah.
in the car. Everything
Yeah.
just goes quiet. We don't see anything.
Hmm.
I mentioned this in my review of the movie. I could barely breathe during that scene. It was
Oh yeah,
perfect.
that's one of those like scenes that it ruins your night.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was. Oh, it's
Uh,
fucking
and,
terrible.
and in a great way.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, in a great way. And then this is it starts out like that, and then the
but then
no.
also you have to give it some leeway because we have like the techniques of filming a movie has evolved a lot.
I guess. I
I mean,
guess.
if you just look at like any other art form like music or paintings or literature, it of course is not as good because there are things that haven't been invented yet, things that
Yeah.
they don't know.
Yeah, I
So
guess.
like if you go back like what was it 89,
Yeah.
this is how you didn't make death scenes quiet, that didn't happen. Like
I guess. I
name
guess.
one because nobody had really understood that. And it's one of these. It's so weird to think back. It's also like if you go way back, like when they invented cross cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems so obvious that you
Yeah.
do. Am I
Yeah.
using the
Now. Yeah.
correct?
But
Yeah,
I
am I
don't.
using the correct term? Right,
Well, what?
cross cutting.
What are you?
Like if you cut from food to a face, then you realize the person is hungry.
Oh, okay. The Kuleshov effect. Like
Yeah,
you show someone's reaction, and then you show whatever they're looking at. But then you
yeah,
can based on what they're looking at, like their emotion change, or you
yeah,
change your perception of their emotions.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that seems so obvious now, but
Yeah.
that's something that had to be invented in filmmaking. It
And
didn't.
I
Took
just
several
gotta.
years.
Now we're in the at the funeral.
Oh yeah,
It's literally it's like 30 seconds, and then they start fighting, and the coffin opens up. They don't give us any time to like grieve.
no,
And it's this is so over the
yeah,
top. It's
yeah. This
ridiculous.
is yeah, and this is what we're saying with pacing. I mean,
Yeah.
it went from like kid dead, grieving in the living room,
And
funeral,
her crying
fighting,
there is so bad.
everything, screaming, everything is
Yeah.
happening like this.
Imagine if that if we almost saw like the entire funeral and everyone was just like
Yeah,
all deadpan. It would really
yeah,
add to the atmosphere. But here's just like, oh, everyone's in the church. Oh, killer of children, and they start fighting. And
yeah.
it's like, whoa, whoa, slow down, slow
They should, they
down.
should, they should have removed all the photos.
Oh yeah,
They should have removed all the entire scene in the house. And just
yeah,
smash cut from the shoe on the pavement to the funeral, and then we give the funeral a few minutes before the fight.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Kind of build it up. They
Yeah.
can even like even then like hint at why the grandfather is kind of mad at him. Say just
Yeah.
this is something at least something.
Mm.
And why the hell isn't it raining? Why is it like a nice kind of overcast day?
Yeah.
There's no atmosphere in this movie
And
except
now,
for
like,
the night
like
scenes
directly
maybe.
from this, like screaming and yelling and the high tense, we go to really slow scene.
Yeah,
Which
it's like kind of like start and stops.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, I don't know.
and that's why it's like you get bored between the things, and then the things happen so quickly you kind of disregard them.
Yeah, they don't have the impact they should have.
No.
This cat is a pretty good actor. If we're gonna try and find some good actors, the cat is pretty good. It looks creepy.
I guess.
I just thought about it there, like, oh, that's kind of scary. He's actually doing a good job. Unlike these other fucking boring cardboard people.
Yeah.
Eh.
Um.
Oh, talking about pacing, I think the next scene now is the mom and the daughter leaving. Like, I think in the book there's like a few weeks of them grieving,
Mhm.
and I think we're gonna cut. Oh well, yeah. There's this scene when they say, "Oh, I think I was the one responsible,"
Yeah.
but it's also like, yeah, really just cutting from the big scenes and nothing in between.
Yeah. And I mean, also in this, they don't really explain again. In the book, yeah, he was under the influence of the
The
forces,
Wendigo.
and
Yeah.
that's why he's responsible. But here,
He
no,
just
he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he just says, I might have been responsible. Wait,
Yeah,
wait, wait, wait.
how?
Are you?
In
Are
what
you?
way?
How? Wait, calm down, Grandpa. You
Yeah.
haven't done anything. Oh no. Well, in the book.
All right,
Oh.
thanks.
That makes sense.
I just want the actors to like look into the camera and should have read the book.
This doesn't make any sense. It could have made sense. Wink, wink. It's almost like those remember those like books on tape where you had the cassette tape and you had the like picture book. Usually like it was like
Oh
Disney
yeah.
stories. This movie kind of works like that. You have the book, and you watch the movie and then you pause it and you read forward in the book and then you watch the other big scene that happens, and like it could work almost like that. It's a good companion to the book, but it doesn't work as a movie.
I gotta say though, I appreciate that they like the Judd has some intelligence, because it is a horror movie, so you expect that everyone is stupid.
Yeah.
And I just like that, like immediately after the funeral, he goes in and like, "Don't you do it? I know you're thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
Stop it."
Yeah, he
Like,
knows it's gonna happen.
yeah, and I appreciate that. That
Yeah.
he's like, it's not like a big reveal. How could you have done this? I know you want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And he just said it. Dead is better. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this scene. This scene had like a Mandela effect on me for many years, because when they burn this guy's house later, his dad's house, he says like hate life, love the dead or something. And for years before I started watching the movie again now for this, I thought he said hate the living, love the dead. And I always thought that was such a great like tagline for the movie. So I didn't understand why they used sometimes dead is better both in this and the remake. Like, why not use hate the living, love the dead? And then I saw the movie and it was like, oh, hate life, love the dead. No, that's not very good. I get it now.
That doesn't work.
No, exactly. I just wanted to mention that, because that would have been, I think at least, that would have been a great tagline.
Yeah.
But no.
But I mean, also that's a tagline for an actual horror movie, like a slasher or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess.
I don't know. I don't think it works for a Stephen King movie.
No. Well, this doesn't really feel like a Stephen King movie at certain times.
I gotta say, I love the enthusiasm there from Judd. He
Yeah.
opens the door and says, "You gotta get out," and then he goes away.
Yeah, get away, get away.
And it's like, yeah, he's trying. Could you go in and help him? Maybe no.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they use Fred Gwynn's voice, but it's obviously a younger actor, so they never show his face. It looks so detached because it's like ADR'd.
Said it again.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think he's gonna say it one more time actually. Blitz gets holier. He has all the good dialogue in this movie, or monologue, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Better.
That is better.
He says it like 3 times
In one scene, yeah. Here it is. What? That makes, in the context of the movie, that makes no sense.
No.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And here we are now. They're leaving. It feels like it's been like 2 days.
Yeah.
And like, oh, you're gonna break up the family now? Like they're leaving and you're staying? That's super weird. It makes sense. It kind of makes sense in the movie as well, because they mention it here that they fought at the funeral, so maybe they should stay away from each other. But it makes more sense in the book because there's a history between them.
And also, it has to be like directly after the funeral, because the parents are still there.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, they're still
It
there.
can't have been like months.
Oh my
It
God.
is like a few days.
would you really want to like leave your husband or leave your wife after your kid has died? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't you want to console each other? I don't know.
No, fuck him.
No.
I get it from his point of view, because he has decided what he's gonna do, and he
Yeah.
doesn't want them to be home.
Yeah,
He
I
doesn't.
guess.
So I get that, but why she doesn't like protest and says no,
Yeah.
you idiot.
Yeah, she doesn't protest in the book either. It's just, oh, you know, I don't want to ruin this by like being with your father. And it's like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. I guess.
And I'm that's also like things that they need to do in the movie. Either like present that there is a force that are affecting him,
Yeah.
or because he doesn't seem mad, he still seem like free thinking intelligent person.
Yeah. Well, I
so
got.
what is his plan here? He's gonna resurrect his son, and then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, I brought back our kid. I know he smells and he wants to kill us, but he's back.
He got better.
Oh yeah, that is better. So he's better now. But do you think that might be because they had that zoom in on his face, and do you think it's might have something to do with him being not the best actor? Maybe, like
could be.
He's not really telegraphing his emotions like he should.
Yeah, but he's like, because he seems more.
Now here's him again. He also has. That's good. The ground is sour. That's cool.
Yeah, but I think.
Oh, and this scene. This is also very. He like talks to himself. That's. Yeah, it doesn't work. I agree. It doesn't work. Look at him. What is he doing here?
It's bad acting.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Oh no.
I mean, yeah, maybe they are trying to portray him as mad, like desperately, like mad, but it doesn't come across. It just come across like he's desperate, but not mad. He's still intelligent, deliberate.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes there and sits there until the night, and like that's planning.
Yeah, yeah.
And a mad person doesn't plan in that way, I think.
Yeah, and during all those hours of digging, there's no like point where he's like stopping and like, wait, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
I am exhuming my child's corpse.
Yeah, I mean the way for it to work, he needs to like he needs to act like Sam Neill acts in Mouth of Madness.
Like fucking nuts.
Yeah, fucking. Then it would make sense. Then
okay.
I would be fine, but it doesn't work.
No, and I think that's a combination of both directing and acting.
Yeah.
Like, cause he's not the best actor, and Mary Lambert is not the best director.
I mean, this kid is kind of good for a kid.
She's okay sometimes, but sometimes she's pretty bad. It's actually twins, so they are sometimes good and sometimes bad. I don't know when it's one or the other. Oh,
and here's
this.
Good.
Yeah, this interaction, that we talked about before. This is kind of interesting, even though they kind of go a little too far with it on the airplane and in the truck and stuff. Also, we haven't really mentioned that. The makeup on him is pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
And
the
I like
makeup in this movie is good.
Yeah. Well, there's some questionable like puppet stuff later. Maybe I'll point it out. Yeah, when Lewis here, he starts fighting with Gage.
Oh yeah.
And it's so clearly a doll or a puppet. And I know they. Oh, there it is. Jesus Christ, that's that's even the cat down there.
Yeah.
Maybe it is some kind of foreshadowing. I don't know why, but it is. And it's just in the shot. There it is.
Yeah,
Remember the
like-
picture.
Yeah, but it's gonna be in I think it's gonna be in one more shot in the movie.
Hmm.
So it was in the flashback. It was there, and yeah, and here again, she sits down, and they pan up to it
Yeah.
when they cut back to her, and it's in the shot again.
There, it's all the time. Yeah, they really
this-
want you to see that picture.
Yeah, I don't understand it really. It feels like it should be like a clever foreshadowing, but as you said, the kid is mimicking the painting, so then that doesn't work.
I don't know. I don't know. That you can say that about a lot in this movie. I don't know.
Maybe they were just really proud of the prop.
Yeah, like they had too much, like that's kind of a weird thing to say as well, especially from me who wants to direct stuff. But I think that Mary Lambert had a little too much freedom as a director on this. Like a producer should step in and like, no, remove that painting. It looks weird. It doesn't work. But no.
Oh, this is great. The greatest cops in Maine.
Oh God, yeah.
Let's
Like shine it right. I mean, it's
shine a light at the open grave. Well, guess it was nothing.
it's far up on the hill, but
It's
I don't know. And he's like, whoop.
yeah, but they're like, come there. I hope nobody is grave robbing.
Yeah. Oh look, he's also yeah, he's like smirking like, yeah, stupid pigs. And then he keeps digging his fucking kid out of the ground. It's so weird.
I mean, around here, I think the movie starts to be so bad it's good. Up until now, it's kind of boring, but now it starts to be like fun. Like you can start making fun of it, and there's some fun things.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think.
I saw this the day before yesterday, and I was at this point in the movie, since I'd seen it so many times, I was pretty miserable. I was like, can it just be over? Oh
Yeah, but
God.
Because until now, there's not much interesting happening. It's
No,
kind of
exactly.
still-
Yeah.
As we mostly been talking about other movies than this movie, and like the book and stuff. We haven't said that much about the actual movie.
No, because there's not, like we said, there's not a lot of like memorable stuff to actually point out.
But I think here it's like starts to become a little more fun.
Yeah, because it goes
campy.
off the rails. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy Gage when he. Ugh. And why he's literally looking into the camera here. I'm pretty sure he does. He looks at me, right?
Yeah.
I'm not there, but in the wide shot.
I mean, maybe.
And once
it
again,
is
he's trying to act crazy, but he doesn't look crazy. He just looks tired.
I would say maybe also, like all of these like lines he's done with the grave robbing scene
Yeah.
and the way he's doing things, that could work great. I mean, that looks good in the script, I think. But it's just it falls with the actor and direction.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't translate well to screen to the screen. Yeah. Oh, now this. Yeah, now we get some more Zelda. The only really scary. Oh, there's the painting again.
And now they moved it.
Yeah,
to
it's
top
in
of
the
stairs.
it's in the stairs now.
Oh no, wait, right. That does make sense. That does.
It does?
Because this is a dream sequence, and in the flashback sequence when she met Zelda,
Yeah.
it was hanging in the stairs too.
Oh, okay. So now she's in her childhood home
yeah,
to say.
and in her childhood it hangs there. So that actually makes sense.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
they really like that painting.
Yeah. And it's I don't know if it's supposed to like resemble Zelda's dress as well a little bit. It's kind of the same color. I don't know. I don't know. But this is pretty creepy. Now when she's gonna be like in the corner here or something.
No, that's later.
Oh, that's later. Oh, here it is. This is just love when we see Pascal here. His like smile is like, "Hey man, I'm on an airplane. This is fun."
Never been on an airplane before.
Yeah, there. Why add that like small comedic moment there? This is not the time for laughter. And he's just like,
Yeah.
this is pretty comfy.
I like this though with Pascal. That's one of the, again, the clever parts of it
Yeah.
with the door.
Oh yeah, but it also doesn't. It doesn't fit the tone of the movie. It's like, oh, it's clever, a little funny, but it's not scary. It should. It's
This is the most easily
Yeah.
convinced. I can't. Okay.
I can't. She actually, they interview her in the documentary as well, and she
really?
says that they only gave her like one take, and she like flubbed her line. So she kind of like, oh, I can't, and they're like, that's fine, let's move along. And she's like, wait, I want to. Oh, okay. So that's why it's so I can't. Okay.
Another thing that I read about in the book is that actually Lewis drugs Judd in this scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So that's why Judd falls asleep. Because I remember if he puts something in a drink, if he just make like, hey, have another beer, like, and makes him drink more.
Okay.
For him to fall asleep. So it's more in the book. It's Lewis makes him fall asleep.
Okay. Yeah, because around here somewhere, I stopped reading the book.
Okay.
So I don't.
Like, right at the end of the movie.
Yeah, no, but this is actually
This
like the
is so stupid.
yeah, it looks cool, but doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I mean, apparently according to the previous scenes, the Indian burial ground is like miles away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
They have
why
to
is it light in the pet cemetery? Pet cemetery, as we said, had nothing to do with it.
because that's the
The
barrier. It must not be broken.
Well, what
What about this car?
That's great acting. I do
have an Aries K. She was a town local who got that part, so she's not really she had acted
go.
in like local yeah, she'd acted like in local theater and stuff, but she wasn't an actress.
So this is supposed to be the Wendigo.
Oh, okay.
I read.
Wow is all I'm gonna say. 'Cause I mean, I don't even whose face is it? I mean, it's the Wendigo, but it feels like it should be a person. Like it I don't know. Because it's
like Judd, but with like weird makeup.
Yeah, exactly. So why not make it a Wendigo face? Oh, that would have been too obvious. We're making a subtle movie. I forgot. Yeah, right.
It's just my imagination.
I'm talking to myself because I'm crazy. Yikes. And I was gonna say, this is like just past the halfway mark in the book.
Oh, okay.
Or I guess the funeral is. There's a lot more like, because this is what it's like. Yeah, it's like 30 minutes left of the movie.
Yeah.
Barely, because of the credits and stuff. So this is really like the final the final moments of the movie. But Gage dies like halfway through the book. So, well, yeah. So there's a lot more character stuff before they actually resurrect the kid. And here it's just, well, we gotta go.
Trying to stop you.
Yeah, this isn't too good. This actually reminds me of a Swedish horror movie called The Visitors, Besökarna.
All right.
With whatever his name is, Kjell Bergqvist.
Yeah.
Well, no one listening to this will know this, but Johannes, Lena Endre becomes she's visited by the ghost of Johannes Brost, and it's hilarious because Johannes Brost is a very funny actor. He doesn't work as a ghost; he just looks weird. But it's kind of the same thing. It's like a premonition, and she has to go back to rescue her husband. It's kind of the same as this.
Yeah.
So
also, this is also. I mean, if I've buried my kid, and I know that he's going to come back, I'm gonna stay there. I'm not just gonna go home and go to bed.
Yeah, that is a weird part.
Because they established, like, when he picked up the cat earlier, he said, like, "Oh, you clawed your way out." It's like, yeah, fuck that cage. He knows the way back.
Yeah. He'll find his way. And if he doesn't, he's undead, so he'll be fine.
He'll be fine. I mean, what if Cage just went? What if Cage came back as normal, like as 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 alive as he was before,
Yeah.
and then get lost in the wood?
He dies of starvation 3 days later.
Great work there,
You're such a good parent, father. Yeah. Well, yeah, like we said, there's a lot of problems with this movie. And there's going to be one more scene that is like unintentionally hilarious when Lewis wakes up in a little while. He like falls out of bed, screaming, and he like he smacks his head at the nightstand. I'm like, whoa, that must have hurt so bad because he actually like hits his head. And I reacted to that every time I saw the movie. I don't know. Is this creepy?
Yeah, sort of.
A little bit, maybe.
I mean, it could have been creepy if the rest of the movie has been better.
Yeah, exactly.
The scene itself could be creepy if it were a good build up to it, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, most things with kids are creepy if you just put the right build up to it.
Oh, sure. So
you can just have a kid standing there. It could be creepy with right build up. So.
Yeah. But I also think the kid who plays Gage, Miko Hughes is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He I don't remember if he's still acting, but he did act for some time after this. I think he's a little too cute in this movie. Yeah. He's not really that scary. Maybe a couple of times.
I think that has to be like deliberate, like the playing with the expectations and so things like that. I mean, like this, you see him so cute and now he's evil, and that's supposed to be disturbing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thought process.
I guess, but it doesn't really work because they still like, oh, he's kind of cute. You know, he's walking around like, oh,
you cute little monster.
Yeah, all pale and trying to stab his father. It's I don't know.
This is also like, he's been through this before. He knows what this means.
Yeah. Why didn't he just burn his own house?
Yeah.
Like he did the last time.
Not even burn his own house. I mean, if I was him, yeah, sure, I'd be a little responsible, but I did my best to tell him not to do it. So I just said, I'm just gonna sit in my car. I'm gonna go into town, check into a hotel, get back in a few days, and see what happens. Not my issue anymore.
Yeah. But I mean, then we won't get this awesome death scene.
Yeah. I mean,
it's pretty good. It's actually, yeah. Once again, the gore, the makeup effects, they're pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Especially, well, we'll talk about them when it comes up. But they actually done some great, it's not makeup. It's actually a model of Fred Gwynne's head when they cut his lips or his mouth, the corners of his mouth. That's actually a fake head. And it looks very convincing.
Really?
Yeah. They didn't actually cut the corners of his mouth. Can you believe it?
What?
Yeah, I know. They were gonna do it, and he was like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, what? You gotta, pain and gain, man.
Sacrifice for the art.
Yeah, right. Sacrifice yourself for the art. I would. I only have 9 toes because I filmed the scene where we had to cut off a toe. Remember that? I did that.
Yeah. That one.
No. No, but yeah.
I brought you something.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Here, Gage, I got you a little knife. I'm gonna cut you. Why didn't he go over to Lewis and like wake him up and say, I think Gage is back, so they could attack him together? I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't trust Lewis.
Yeah, because Lewis is crazy.
If he tells Lewis, maybe Lewis will try to stop him. Maybe.
Yeah.
That thought process.
Yeah. I guess. Oh, stupid cat. Oh, and this. Yeah, that's funny. Here, that's actually a fake foot. Also, yeah.
It's not his real foot.
No, I know, but it looks so convincing.
Yeah, it does.
That I don't know. That he doesn't. There, fake face, because there he doesn't have any cuts.
No, it looks really good.
Yeah, and here, when they filmed this scene, they actually put a little like fake skin with a blood like pouch under on his neck, and Miko Hughes, the actor, actually like ripped his throat open for real. They don't really show it, unfortunately. And the kid was like all game for it until Fred Gwynn started like convulsing because he was dying. It was this big death scene, and the kid just freaked out because he thought he had killed Fred Gwynn. And Terry said, "No, I'm just kidding." So I guess they had to like cut that stuff. So that's kind of fun though. A child actually like bites his neck off. That's kind of cool. Oh, well, stop with the smiling. This is funny. It's not scary. He says, and then leaves in a truck. I thought you weren't allowed any further. Bye.
Oh, he disappears.
Oh, okay, that's true. That's true. He should have stayed in the car and just, well, gotta go.
And then we have the spin-off movie. Ghost and Trucker.
Ghost and Trucker. It feels like someone's... Oh, that laugh. That sounds like the kid's actual voice. I don't know if they like made him laugh weird. It sounds like him. There are some lines later that is obviously a grown-up like trying to do a kid voice or a baby voice.
Okay.
Oh, that stupid cat. Oh, now all of a sudden his eyes aren't glowing.
Yeah.
Is this one? No, that's not yet. When the house, for some reason, starts like deteriorating. It's full of moss and weird mold.
That's when Lewis comes there.
Yeah, that's also that's not in the book. That's actually a scene where they go back to the burial grounds and it's all covered in moss and it's deteriorating. And it's almost like Lewis is like imagining things. It's like his mind deteriorating is like manifested in real life. And they couldn't film that scene. They didn't have time to film that scene, so instead they just made this house deteriorate. That's a weird like compromise, I think, but it works in the movie. But the way they explain it's like, whoa, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah. I think they should have put more energy in making us believe that he's actually mad. It would have explained and fixed a lot of things, I think.
Yeah, like you're almost questioning the whole thing. Like, did he actually bury his kid? Is the cat alive? Like making even that ambiguous. That would have been fun. But, nope. It's also... Oh, here's the scene with Zelda.
Yeah. Which also doesn't make sense.
No, that's kind of weird because now they're in Judd's house. I guess, well, maybe she's mad as well.
Yeah, but I mean...
Ugh.
Yeah, this is creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, everything with...
Zelda.
Everything with Zelda is creepy. And she's like... She says she's gonna twist her back like mine.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more of that in the book. Like, them explaining, like, she truly goes insane and, like...
Did Cage Baker see it?
Yeah.
With the outfit.
Oh, yeah, with the hat. It just looks
and also,
so stupid.
how did they miss to, like, get the cat up there? To stand beside him?
Yeah.
Why didn't he do that?
Well, because, I brought you something and just want to cut you.
That seems fine.
I don't know. Like I said, like we said before. We don't have kids, so maybe that Oh, here it is. Wait. Look at how he smacks his head. Ow! That
Oh,
must... It's right in the temple. That must have hurt so bad. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just, like... My gut feeling in that scene is like, I would like stay the fuck away from me. You're supposed to be dead. But maybe if we
or
had kids, you know.
at least like, give me the knife.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
if he's holding a knife, like pointed at you, you don't go for a hug. That's just knife 101.
Yeah. Do not approach people that are pointing knives at you. That stupid laughter.
The loudest laugh in the world.
And it's like a toddler trying to do a menacing laugh, like yeah, ha, ha. But instead it's just ha 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 ha. It's weird. But we're in the final moments of the movie here.
Finally.
Finally. Oh yeah, he. No, oh, I thought it was the kid calling.
No.
Who's calling?
It's the father-in-law.
Oh, right.
Their daughter came home safely.
Oh, right. He's like, oh no. She went over to Judd's house where my child was, I think.
Damn. I understand everything.
Well, I don't. I don't understand anything. This movie doesn't make sense. No.
I can't talk right now.
Yeah, this must be him trying to act like crazy, but it doesn't work. He just looks weird. Dale Midkiff. I mean, he could have been. Oh, right, they're in the basement, don't they? No, they go over to his house later. Ah, whatever. Oh, now it's a kid.
Now it's the kid.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, if you just if you look at his face, at back here in 1989, he could have been like a movie star. He's got the look.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just too bad he's not that good of an actor.
It's that only that little thing that.
Yeah, as an actor.
His career.
Yeah.
I'm just looking what he have done. He hasn't done anything interesting.
Not really.
Ever.
No.
I did Airbud 3.
Oh yeah. Well, that's my favorite. The second one is pretty bad.
It's just really.
Yeah, not even like right after this, because this wasn't. It was like a big box office success,
Yeah.
but it got terrible reviews. So yeah, his career never really went anywhere. I can see why. I mean, it's a little. It's too bad because he got that actor face, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's the only thing. Like, he lived on his looks.
Yeah.
He still does.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. In the documentary, I don't know when that was actually made. He still kind of looks the same. Yeah, this is why in the butt? This scene, both here when he kills the cat and then when he, spoilers, kills the kid, that's kind of, I don't know. They must have like tranquilized the cat, but that's kind of weird because it's very convincing. The same thing with the kid, actually.
I actually looked it up, and they did not hurt any cat.
No, I didn't think
mean,
that.
It is 89, so it's not that far-fetched.
Yeah, but like this, that is a real cat.
Yeah.
So they must have like tranquilized it at least.
No.
That's kind of disturbing. I don't know, just the way he just slowly sticks it with a needle and then does the same thing with the kid.
Which has the best death scene, I think.
Yeah.
I just really like it.
Yeah, but I that actually kind of works for me. Here's the house deteriorating. This is supposed to be him losing his mind, so he thinks the house looks like this. But doesn't. Once again, it doesn't really translate well to screen from screenplay.
No. You rather get the feeling like the evil of Cage is corrupting the place.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the feel you get, even though that's not what they're going for.
No, no. Yeah, and then when they cut back here, and when he goes up the stairs, the house is normal again, and yeah, and it keeps being normal after this. And just that is also like a thing where I thought the producers should have reined in the director. Like the house looks weird like this. They like made up the whole lower floor. Here it's gone. The whole lower floor with all that stuff. They like sawed a bunch of furniture in half and covered everything in moss and weird foam. All that for like 10 seconds in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, was it really necessary?
Yeah, I should have put that money and time on something better.
Acting lessons or something.
Well, yeah. Or just put the minutes in some build-up somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Add some more emotion to the fucking child funeral.
Yeah.
Not this. Oh, and now we're coming up on the weird puppet, the kid puppet here soon.
Yeah. It's like I think it's great for a not serious movie.
Exactly. Fortunately, this is supposed to be a serious movie.
I mean, it's like on the par of like Bela Lugosi from Planet 9 with the octopus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's Bride of the Monster.
Oh, Bride and the Monster, right?
Yeah. The only actually good Ed Wood movie. Just want to say, I actually like that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's charming, but it's not good.
No. Compared to his other stuff.
I mean, okay, sure.
I don't know. Have you seen Night of the Ghouls that he made? Like in the late 60s?
I had the box on DVD back in the days, and I've seen a lot of. I think I saw Night of the Ghouls, Bride and Monster, Planet 9, and the one, his first one.
Glen or Glenda?
Yeah. I've seen all of them, but I don't remember much.
No, they're pretty bad.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Oh, and we just missed. We're talking about Ed Wood. We missed the fake head of Fred Gwynn again. It looks pretty good.
Yeah,
we said
it's good. I was
all the makeup stuff looks really good. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That's once again. That's almost. Oh, there. That's not. Oh my God! Look out!
Super baby.
Oh my God! And here he's fighting with the with the puppet. Oh, this is ridiculous. And he actually mentions this in the interview in the documentary. Like, I knew. I mean, I was fighting with a puppet. It was gonna be like he called it Star Trek acting, but they were gonna cut around it, so I did my best. He knows this scene is terrible.
Yeah.
I think there's like one more scene. He just throws the baby.
Don't throw the baby.
Oh God. Here though, when he. Yeah. Oh. This kind of works.
Yeah.
It's a little like, oh no, he's gonna have to kill his child again. Well, that he didn't do it the first time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that, that's pretty nasty. And just the crying. That actually works.
Yeah. I just love Cage's last line.
Oh yeah. Oh, this actually gets to me. Let's see.
I liked it.
There, no fair. And the way he says it, no fair. And here when he like falls over, he falls for real. He hits his head. I guess that's why they cut, because he's probably started crying. This whole thing works. I mean, I'm a pretty jaded guy, but when you kill children like this, I was like, oh, it's effective.
Yeah,
it works. Those feet, however, they should have not been in the shot. This just looks weird.
But I mean, I think that works too. It's like the just to just to show that not only lost his son, he lost his wife too. He lost his family. It's
Yeah.
over. So.
Yeah. And here he
Actually,
burned it to the ground.
Stephen King actually commented on what happens to his daughter.
Oh yeah, right. Because she
just disappears.
Yeah, she's still with the grandparents.
Yeah, it's like no, they were like she gets adopted to a happy family.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, yeah, she lives a happy life, but she never forgot. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Here, there's a couple of scenes. I think you can see him like. It looks like he's in pain here. In the next here, look at his face here. He like moves away from the fire. He actually got second-degree burns there because the fire was so hot, so he burnt his face.
Oh.
So that's yeah, he's actually in pain in that scene. But yeah, just then talking about what happens to the daughter, just quickly mentioning there's actually a sequel to this, Pet Sematary 2.
Oh yeah.
Which is even worse. I saw it. I thought maybe I should see it in preparation.
That's not canon though.
No, it is fucking terrible. But they actually mention Ellie Creed. And in that they say like, oh, she went crazy, basically, because she was the only survivor, and her mom and brother became like zombies, and they killed her father. So I don't know. I would trust Stephen King more than that movie. So I guess canon is that, yeah, she grew up. She grew up like well adjusted, but she never forgot.
Yeah.
And I guess that's better than she went crazy. Have you seen Pet Sematary 2?
Oh no, definitely not. Why would I?
It's that. Yeah. That one is almost at least has a few scenes that are like so bad that they're good. So if you want to watch a good crap movie, might give that a shot. It's actually made by Mary Lambert. She did the directing. So
Really?
Yeah, she didn't really do anything else after this as well. So it was her big shot. Gonna make a sequel to this shit. And here we are at the end. They actually filmed 2 different endings, and there was a third one written. They're all kind of similar. There's one where he's sitting on... No, he's just standing in the kitchen, and she comes up behind him and puts her hand on his shoulder, and he just turns around, and then it kind of cuts. And then there's one where they face each other, not him sitting on the floor. And at first she looks all normal, and he's like, "Oh, you're back." But the more he stares into her face face distorts, and her smile becomes this grin, and then it just cuts to black, and you hear him screaming. And then
That's good.
Yeah, they actually filmed that one, I think. And then they filmed this one, which I guess it's more faithful to the book. And that's kind of gross, even though you see the little hole where the pus comes from. That's super gross. And he gets it in his mouth, and that's gross. Once again, the makeup effects, great.
I mean, they should have I don't know. They should have waited. They should have put the makeup on the other side of the face, so we didn't see it at first.
Yeah. There we are. A Mary Lambert film.
Here's the only reason I'm happy this movie was made, because this song is great.
Yeah, it's
I like this song.
It was like a request from Stephen King because he likes the Ramones.
Yeah, apparently I read somewhere that he what is it called? Singing Ramones?
Dee Dee or Joey, I don't know which one is the singer.
Dee Dee, I think it is.
Yeah.
That he read the first draft of Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
When at Stephen King's house.
Oh yeah, they met for dinner and talked about using their music because they used Sheena and stuff. Yeah. And then them writing this, and it took him 40 minutes to write this song, which makes sense because it's basically just the same 5 words over and over again. But it's a pretty good song.
I like it.
I didn't used to like the Ramones, but as I've gotten older, I've kind of hey, they're pretty good. I don't know. doesn't really doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, but you know, hey.
So, what do you give this movie now?
Well,
Like the 5th time you've seen it in
Oh.
like a week.
oh, quick, special makeup designs Lance Anderson. He actually during this movie he proposed and married Heather Langenkamp, you know, the star from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh.
Just a little
more
fun
you know.
fact. Yeah, the more you know. Well, what I think about the movie, it's not the worst I've ever seen. Like not even close. But it's really like it's yeah, it has so many problems, like we said, with pacing, directing, just the look of the movie. It looks kind of mostly very flat looking. And it's not at all scary, except for maybe the very end here with the kid. It's kind of creepy, and the Zelda scenes,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's definitely. This is actually a perfect movie to remake.
yeah, exactly, because it's a good premise. It's an interesting story that they could have made better. Dee Dee Ramone wrote the song, right? So yeah, it's a good movie to remake, but I heard that the remake it wasn't much better, unfortunately.
No. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably watch it when it comes out on Blu-ray or something.
Doesn't surprise me. But
Yeah.
no animals were harmed in any way during the making this movie.
Except for the cat that they killed. What? What? No. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching this cult classic with us. We'll be back next week with something else. But until then, have a good one.
Goodbye.
Bye.